Well, it's good to be with you at Christ Table here today on this July 4th holiday. My name is Kevin Young. I have the privilege of serving at Christ Table as lead clergy. If you'd like to know more about Christ Table, you can visit the URL that's right there, www.christstable.today. Sign up for the email list there so that you will know everything that's happening around Christ Table. But if you'd like to know more about this study in particular, you can visit the URL right there, go.christstable.today/peace. There is a PDF there that will give you all of the schedule for the 2 months. That is the journey through the Peace Bible study curriculum. And also you can download a PDF of the entire study guide. They are absolutely free. If you would like a hard copy of that PDF, as well as lots of other resources that go along with that, then you can do that by getting a spiritual resource box there as well. That helps us out financially, keep this on the air. But either way, whether you get the box or just download the free resource, go.christstable.today/peace. One other thing that I want to remind you of today, actually, is the release of my book. So pretty exciting around here to get to have a book now as a published author, but Reconstruct Your Faith. You can get that by going online to drkevinyoung.com, or it's also available anywhere where books are sold. This is a resource that has been a year in the writing, but many, many, many years in the making. It walks through my spiritual journey as well as my faith nearly falling apart and shipwrecking completely, and then the path that I took alongside Jesus and the early church and their practices in order to help rescue and repair my faith. So you can get this online at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. All of the information is right there at that website, drkevinyoung.com. Now, today, as we move into this study, we are spending the next few weeks looking at this idea of peace in the Bible. And we may not have fully understood peace because Christians, by and large, tend to not be peaceful people. We're supposed to be all about peace. In fact, we've already talked about that a little bit in this journey through the study already over the last few days, is that Christians should be marked by peace. And part of that peace is by actually bending in many ways to the expectations as much as we can to the community around us, even those who are unbelievers, in order to keep peace. Unfortunately, there is a very militant side of Christianity that doesn't really follow the teachings of Jesus or Paul, but cherry picks a verse or two in order to try to make Christianity into something that it's not. And we see that that just simply doesn't work, because Christianity is supposed to be marked by peace, right? It's the thing that the angel said in the birth announcement of Jesus, that there should be peace on earth to people of goodwill. And so if there is not peace on earth, and if there is not peace within Christianity, then people who are not peaceful are probably the problem. Many of us have misunderstood peace. Day 3, here we go, jumping back into another part of Scripture that deals with peace. Today, John chapter 16, verses 28 through 33. This actually comes as a part of the Upper Room Discourse. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard about the Upper Room Discourse, but it is long. It is deep. It is difficult. And it's also something that many people just kind of dive right over whenever they get to the Upper Room Discourse here in this part of John. Now, where it happens, if you're kind of have your thinking cap on, is in the upper room on the night of the Last Supper, just before the events in the Garden of Gethsemane and the trial and the crucifixion and all of those things. Jesus gives a speech that has come to be known as the Upper Room Discourse. Now, in that speech to his disciples there in the upper room, Jesus makes as a part of that monologue this statement: "Yes, I came from the Father into the world, and now I will leave the world and return to the Father." And they must have been shaking their heads or scratching their heads, trying to figure out exactly what this means. Jesus had been saying things like this for almost the entirety of his ministry, and they really just had never gotten it. They really never understood it. But Jesus keeps saying it over and over and over again. So it may well be that at this point they're not like scratching their heads or asking questions or have that quizzical look on their face. They probably were just sitting there shaking their heads. We've heard this all before. We know that you think we know what it means, and we're just gonna let it go over our heads again. Or maybe they were thinking they thought they knew what it meant, but they really, like, how could they have known what this meant? I will leave the world and return to the Father. They did not yet really understand that he was God, that he was divine. They had no understanding of his plan, and the way that they respond in the days ahead after this moment in Gethsemane and the trial and the crucifixion, where they were completely and utterly absent except for John, maybe the basis of the text shows that they didn't fully understand it. Yes, I come from the Father into the world. Now I will leave the world and return to the Father. And so the disciples said, at last, you're speaking plainly and not figuratively. Now we understand that you know everything and there's no need to question you. From this, we believe that you came from God. So finally, we've gotten it. Here at this moment, we finally understand it, Jesus. And I wonder if they really understood it. Because just moments from now, they're going to actually kind of prove that they didn't understand it, that they didn't get it. They're going to freak the heck out whenever all of this happens to Jesus. And so it kind of feels like maybe they thought they got it, but it really more so feels as though they're just trying to say to Jesus, yeah, we're here just now going to convince you that finally we understand it. Maybe there's some sarcasm there. And at last, now that you're speaking plainly and not figuratively, or maybe they were just, yeah, this guy's a little crazy. Who knows? But the one thing that we can say is that they really did not understand it yet, because their actions kind of say that. So suddenly, really, what it seems to be saying here is that they think that all they have to do is to just simply say they believe in Jesus. We're just going to say it. We don't have to actually necessarily believe it. All they have to do is say that I believe in Jesus. And if I say that, they're thinking to themselves, then all will be well. They think they understand, but they don't. 2,000 years, so many Christians repeating this over and over and over again, right? All right. Fire escape. I'll just say that I believe in Jesus, and I will just believe or pretend to believe or hope that everything will be well if I just do that. If I just feign understanding, or if I give the minimal investment of my thoughts and myself into this. And sometimes I look at people like that and I think, you think you understand? You think you understand Jesus? You think you understand God? You think you're like the most spiritual, mature person here now that you've made this decision, but you're not. And apparently Jesus recognized that, because Jesus asked them, do you finally believe? Do you? You know, you could kind of imagine Jesus leaning in just a little bit with that face, you know. Do you really? I'm not so sure. Because the time's coming. Indeed, you know, Jesus looking at his watch. Actually, it's here now. When you're going to be scattered, each going his own way, leaving me alone. Yet I'm not alone, because the Father is with me. Remember, this is the night of the Garden of Gethsemane. They are going to run in different directions like rats out of a burning building away from Jesus in order to protect themselves from the heat that he is about to endure. And that is an understatement. So we know that they didn't really understand, that they didn't really finally believe. But Jesus says, you know what? I understand that. I understand that you don't understand that you're going to be scattered, that you're going to be in fear, but I have told you all of this anyway so that you can have peace in me. Here on earth, you're going to have many trials, you're going to have many sorrows, but take heart, because I have overcome the world. Some bad things are going to go down. Some bad things are going to happen. You are going to be tested. There are going to be very real sorrows, things that go wrong, things that go badly. There's going to be very real loss. But take heart, because this is not all that there is. And all of this has already been and will one day fully be overcome. So I'm telling you all of this about me, not so that you can pretend to understand or pretend to be okay, but so that you can have peace in me. What do we get from this passage? Well, I think that one of the main things that we get from this passage is that, and this may seem elementary, but this is something that is so difficult sometimes for Christians, for even very deep people of faith to latch onto and to understand. That even in the midst of the worst, we can still know peace. Even in the midst of the greatest disasters, we can still know and hold on to Jesus' peace. Jesus says, I know that things are going to get really, really rough. And I know you want to believe that none of that is going to happen because you're a part of my club, my in crowd. You think you're going to be saved from all of those things, but I need you to understand trials, suffering, they're still going to be a part of your journey. But I want you to have peace because I'm telling you that those things are going to happen. It's not a surprise to me, so don't let it be a surprise to you. Don't let it rock your faith. You can know my peace, Jesus says, even in the midst of disaster. So our practice today, and one of the things that we're trying to do each and every day, is to do a practice or to do something in relation to this passage and the things that we're learning, that we're understanding and trying to learn and trying to understand. And so today, this is the practice, to make a list of things that for you would bring peace on earth. Whenever you think of this idea of there being peace around you and peace within you, what would those things be for you? Write them, draw them, doodle them, make a list, journal a long paragraph, the things that for you would bring peace on earth. And just a reminder, if you'd like more information about the entirety of this Bible study and would like the resources to go along with it, you can get those at that URL right there, go.christstable.today/peace.